Hi all. If you're an NVIDIA investor or just thinking about investing in this company, there are a lot of good news coming your way. Today we're going to talk about some of these news. So first of all, NVIDIA's annual shareholders conference was held late last night, and we did not expect any financial news coming from the company, but there was a lot of hype, and of course the CEO of NVIDIA was hyping everything around and explaining about the company. There are some interesting points about his explanation. So first of all, he's not thinking about NVIDIA as a GPU company or just AI company. He's thinking about NVIDIA as basically the future company, where every single thing that we're doing right now will be transformed in some way or another with AI. And in his presentation, he gave some examples about some of the domains NVIDIA are operating in and will basically take over the world. So artificial intelligence and machine learning are pretty much self-explanatory. NVIDIA has their own NeMo system, which allows you to create and customize large language models. From a financial standpoint, the most interesting topic, of course, was data center. And NVIDIA CEO actually doubled down on his claims a few days ago, where he said that he expects over the next 4 years that more than $1 trillion will be invested in data centers by the biggest companies, by Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and weirdly enough, Meta. So $1 trillion, vast majority of this money will be coming towards AI development, and of course, vast majority of this money will be coming towards NVIDIA. So basically, company's expectation of its growth is absolutely insane. Data center will be the biggest driver of this growth. He talked, of course, about gaming, the new GeForce. I don't think it's really interesting in financial terms. What was really fascinating is his vision about the self-driving cars. Basically, they are envisioned that every self-driving car will have NVIDIA's centralized computer in it, and of course NVIDIA have their drive platforms in order to do that. And there were a lot of cool examples. So for healthcare, for example, NVIDIA has their NVIDIA Clara, which is AI-driven platform, which allows you to develop solutions for medical imaging, genomics, and drug discovery. And the examples just kept on coming. He was talking about LLMs for finance. He was talking about architecture and even restaurants. So yeah, NVIDIA pretty much envisioned that NVIDIA chips will be running in every fast food restaurant in the world. So the event itself was not really financially eventful. What was really interesting and what got me the most interested was the shareholders letters, which NVIDIA released a couple of days before the event. And it's boring as hell. You can find it on NVIDIA's website. It's just 180 pages of mind-boggling boredom, but I read it for you, so you won't have to. There was one thing there which really piqued my curiosity, and this thing is how NVIDIA's executive and directors are being compensated. So NVIDIA has this guideline. I don't know if it's weird or not, but it's really interesting. So directors and C-level executives at NVIDIA get their base salary, the regular one, and something performance-based. The interesting part is the guidance that these guys have to keep their stock. So for example, NVIDIA CEO have to keep stock worth more than 6 times his base salary, and directors and executives need to keep their stock at 1 to 3 times their base salary. So just think about your investment in NVIDIA. Think about your base salary. Now imagine that you have your yearly salary and you need to keep 3 times as much in NVIDIA stock. Well, you are worried about the performance of the stock right now. Think about how much worried would you be if you had 3 times your yearly salary invested in NVIDIA stock. So that these guys would be extremely motivated, NVIDIA also have some guidance about anti-hedging. Basically, you cannot take a bunch of NVIDIA stock and just buy puts. For example, to protect you from the downside of NVIDIA stock falling off, you cannot use this stock as a collateral for loans, for example. These people are stuck with a lot of NVIDIA stock and most of their money coming from it. So it is up to you to decide if it's a good motivation or a bad one, but it's extremely interesting. And if you think you are worried about NVIDIA performance, they're worried much more than you. By the way, if this information is interesting for you, subscribe to our channel and we will have much more videos like that, and put a like on this video. It will bring us much joy and happiness. One more thing I wanted to talk about, of course, after all of these great news, analysts just kept upgrading NVIDIA, and there were a couple of actually funny ones. So Dan Ives from Wedbush actually compared NVIDIA to a party. He said that NVIDIA's party right now is at 9 p.m. and he expects the party to continue until 4 a.m. I guess Dan Ives just misses his his college days, but he talked about giant tech companies running to get to $4 trillion valuation, and he said he expects NVIDIA to be the first there. So he's pretty much expecting NVIDIA to rise about 30-35%. Jefferies analyst posted something a bit weird where they said that they had an Asia tours, and on this tour they spoke to key AI players, whatever that means, and now they are extremely bullish on NVIDIA and Broadcom and extremely bearish on AMD and Marvel. They have upgraded their NVIDIA target price from 135 to 150. I mean, NVIDIA was almost 150 a couple of days ago, so no real surprise there. But probably the most motivating and the funniest pitch about NVIDIA came from Ray Wang from Constellation Research. He went on Squawkbox and talked about how NVIDIA is just one of the kind, and he actually gave some explanation. You can go and watch it. It's a mildly interesting video, but what's interesting, he said that they are upgrading their target price to about 200. By the way, thank you very much to a subscriber who actually sent us information that there are already 3 research firms who upgraded NVIDIA to 200. Keep sending this information. This is extremely valuable to us. And this is pretty much it for this video. We have a lot of other news from the conference, of course. We'll probably record another video, so subscribe so you won't miss it. Put a like. We would like that very much. Thank you for your time and take care.